One of the most hardest things teachers like students to do is to make them stand up in front of everyone and talk about a project that they did the night before. Then get graded on whether or not they look like they know what they're talking about, if they look like a nervous wreck or not, and if they look somewhat happy about a project they had to do. But teachers never really tell you how to do it properly or why students even have to do it. Well, I'm here to tell you that doing presentations are actually a way to learn to pretend you like talking to a person you hate. It's putting on a show to make the other person believe that you actually enjoy talking to them. This is a very important skill to have if you want to be a functioning adult someday. So, in this video, we will look at the do's and don'ts of a class presentation. And with the power of Google, I found a 10 out of 10 would present again rubric that will help you get that A that your parent or guardian wanted you to get. We're going to start with what not to do. So let's take a look at Ronnie. All right, let's rewind it back and take a look at what Ronnie did wrong here. All right, this is all flipped up. All right, so if you look at Ronnie's posture here, okay, hold up, this isn't working. I want it to do this like a weatherman kind of style, but I don't have a green screen, so okay, hold up. Let me try something here. All right, let's see if this thing works. First, let's look at Ronnie's posture. He might be upright and not slouching, but his body language says, I don't want to be here. It's as if he's trying to be as small as possible so that maybe at some point he would just disappear. If you're trying to make your teacher think that you love the fact that you're presenting, you have to look like you love the fact that you're presenting. Your body language needs to say, hey, look at me. I am the captain now. Another important thing is eye contact. People tend to look down because they don't want to see everybody's eyes on them. So you have to make sure you look up. But here's my tip. You don't have to make eye contact with anyone. You just have to look like you're looking at someone. You can stare at the back wall and still get full marks for eye contact. The last thing is volume. You need to be heard. Speak up. You could be dropping some grade A knowledge, but if no one can hear you, then what's the point? But you can't be yelling throughout the entire presentation. Your volume needs to be appropriate to what you're saying. You can raise your voice when you're trying to make a strong argument, but you just have to make sure that everything you're saying can be heard by everyone in the room. So let's review the important things we need to keep in mind. Number 1 is posture. You need to look excited. The first thing your teacher will look at is whether or not you're confident in what you're presenting. Number 2 is eye contact. Make sure your eyes aren't looking down. Remember, you don't need to look at anyone's eyes. Just find a spot in the room, preferably the back wall, and keep your eyes on that. And number 3 is volume. Every single word of your presentation needs to be heard. So let's take a look at what a good presenter looks like. In this first video, let's look at her posture and body language. If you look at the emotion in her face and her hand gestures, you can see that the presenter is passionate about her topic. Without even hearing what she's saying, you can tell that what she's talking about is important to her and that it's something that everyone needs to hear. So without even knowing her topic, we, as the audience, are immediately hooked because through her body language, she's making it look important to listen to what she has to say. In this next video, let's analyze the presenter's volume.
Over 40% of Americans check their phone within 5 minutes of waking up every morning. And then they look at it another 50 times during the day. Grown-ups consider this device to be a necessity.
When you're presenting, your volume needs to be at this level. It's not too loud and it's not too soft. If we look at the sound waves of this video, you can see that her average volume stays pretty consistent. That means that her loudest volume is the same throughout the entire video, and she doesn't go any louder than she already has. Another thing we need to look at is how her volume changes during her sentences. It starts off strong and loud to catch the audience's attention, and then ends more softly. This is so that you don't sound like a robot reading off a script during your presentation. This makes it sound more authentic and human. It's like you're just having a conversation. And the last thing is eye contact. This presenter has brought cue cards for her presentation. You're not expected to memorize what you have to say. You can bring a script with you. The important thing is to look up whenever you're speaking. It's okay to pause in between sentences. It's okay to look at your script. It's okay to have a few seconds to breathe or drink water, but it's not okay to look at a piece of paper throughout your entire presentation. That's a script reading, not a presentation. Remember, you need to be looking and talking to someone during the presentation. Even if it is the back wall, you still look like you're talking to someone. So hopefully this video helped you understand how class presentations work. Remember, it's all an act, and you just need to practice, and then practice some more, and then practice some more after that. I would say thanks for watching, but I'm sure your teacher made you watch this in class. And I can't really think of a way to end the video, so I'm just